Hey everyone, Mad Hatter here, and today we're making a tier list based on which characters to reroll for in Guardian Tales. Now this is primarily going to be directed towards newer players who are actively going to be rerolling, but it can also serve as a progression guide for, early to mid-game players that are trying to focus on different contents or try to make story even easier, especially if you're a casual. So this does cover a wider audience, but if you're a new player, you're going to be the one that benefits from this the most. Now, do keep in mind with the upcoming World 17 patch or whatever time you're watching this tier list is pretty much never going to change. In fact, some things might be added and maybe some things might go up or down, but 99% of it's going to be the same regardless of whenever you play, unless you're watching this video like a year or two from now, in which case it might be very different. However, if you're watching at that point, I'll probably have a more updated guide out on the channel. Now, if you do enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and join the community Discord. Once this video hits 300 likes, I'll make another extremely detailed beginner guide, whatever it is. Leave it in the comments and make sure the video hits 300 likes. Now let's properly begin the video. So first off, I'm just going to say this out there. Don't reroll for Future Princess. You can't really reroll for her. She's free in World 9. So if you're going to be pulling for anything related to Future Princess, going for a weapon is fine, but you can't really reroll for the character without wasting gems, right? Just clear up to World 9, you'll get her for free. And in that regard, she provides a lot of value. She makes World 10 and World 11 a lot easier, especially if you have her EX. So yeah, she's definitely a great story carry. Now let's begin addressing the tiers. Plot Armor is just a broken tier, characters that are going to trivialize story and make it so much easier and still scale really hard. Now S tier is going to be primarily for characters who make story contents a lot easier and have great synergy with a lot of other characters and are absolute rerolls to go for no matter what. Plot Armor is just, they're crazy. They're just crazy, okay? A+ is really solid, can never go wrong. Really good characters reroll for. A tier, they're good to have, but they're not going to be crazy. They're just good to have. B+ is where, yeah, sure, if you, reroll for them, it's nothing bad, but it's nothing crazy either. And then below B+ is where it starts getting dicey and depends on what really, content you want to do, then it would really depend on what value you get out of them. Now let's begin straight off the bat. We've addressed everything we need to. And for those who tapped out of the video by then, well, your loss. Let's begin. Arabelle. Arabelle is not going to be much value for rerolling. She doesn't provide much to you. She's a niche Coliseum unit, can be used in, I guess, some mono dark raid teams, but I believe they're just generally going to be better dark raid teams. Maybe you could use her in Arena or something. I'm not too experienced with Arabelle in PvP because I just don't play PvP all too much. And I've never, tried out Arabelle hands-on, so I can't give you, a very elaborate explanation. However, to a new player, she's not going to provide much value. She doesn't do great in PvE content without, a max limit broken EX. Don't bother with her, nothing to really reroll for. Andras. Okay, if you don't know yet, I'm a hardcore Andras connoisseur. I'm a Andras simp, if you might say. She's going to be in B+. She definitely doesn't deserve higher because rerolling-wise, most of her benefit comes on as you start progressing through the game. She's not going to provide much early on because all she is just a walking chunk of DPS. That's literally all Andras is. So in terms of, bringing crazy value, she's really nice to have on your account, but not the greatest investment options early to mid-game. Hana, F tier, doesn't provide anything, literally trash hero outside of, maybe some PvP and stuff. So rerolling wise, don't go for it. These F tier is just bad. They're horrible. You can just count them as not having them. Bianca, same thing, provides the same thing for a new player. Next up is Beth. Beth is going to be plot armor tier. Now, actually, no, she's S tier. The reason is as strong as Beth is, with her dark type defense shred, with her self attack buffs, with her self defense, with her self damage reductions, with her self attack boosts, with her insane AoE deep damage. It's ridiculous everything that Beth does, but at the same time, she is a melee character, and that restricts her a lot with having a lot of synergies with some of the best characters in the game. And do realize there is no single best characters, and when we say best character, it's addressing characters that are more versatile than potentially other characters. Not best in every field, but they're generally good enough at everything to be considered a, general really good character. So what holds Beth back is her lack of synergy with anything that's not melee, and considering the fact that most of the better heroes in the game are ranged, it really holds Beth back. But she does have really available free-to-play teams that are accessible, such as Beth, Future Princess, Craig, and Maya. Any variation of Beth, Maya, Craig is just really good, so you can definitely run those. Really solid, really crazy reroll option. I mean, if you get her EX, she's plot armor tier, but without her EX, Beth without her EX is honestly like a B plus tier at most, because her without her EX is so much weaker. But with EX, she is honestly plot armor tier. So I'm actually just going to put her there straight up. She's just so damn good. Craig, you don't reroll for him, but Craig is a monster, okay? You get him for free. He is a super great tank early on and is super easy to pull if you don't manage to get him. But he's going to scale like crazy, okay? He's good in everything that isn't a DPS test. So he's not good in raids. He's not good in stuff like boss rush, right? Where it's just DPS meter battles. But anywhere else where you need, survivability and a tank, Craig is the man to call. Top-notch tank, provides a ton of survivability and defense to the team, is top-notch, man. And once you ascend him, every single one of his attributes just becomes so much better. He's an investment that can't go wrong. Top-notch character, but try to max limit break 2 unique heroes before you try to ascend him first. That way you'll have most of Training Room unlocked. Next up is First Corpse. I think First Corpse is going to be near Andras for the same reason. She doesn't provide anything crazy. She's just going to increase your party's DPS, and that's literally it. She's just a marked defense shred, and outside of that, I guess she can do like decent damage. Honestly, top of B+, but I guess she can do some decent... I guess she does some decent damage. She can do good in like Arena and Colo. But for rerolling, she's not going to be that crazy because she's not the centerpiece of any team. She's just, you can throw her around on a lot of teams and she'll give you nice value. But I think for, early to mid game, she doesn't provide much because all she's going to do is increase your team's damage by a bit. And that's really all she does, right? Just increase your damage. Next up, we're going to look at Claude. Okay, I've made enough Claude videos. I've shilled him enough, but I'll explain him here anyway. Dark type resistance shred, self-damage boost, self-damage reduction depending on the situation. Full screen AoE, self-sustain, self-DPS increase, party range damage buffs. Like, what else do you need from the man, okay? He does insane damage. He has insane self-sustain. He boosts his party pretty decently, especially if they're dark. And it's a ridiculous character that does an absurd amount of damage and heals for quite a lot and can do a lot for his party, especially if they're of the dark element. Insane. Absolutely insane. Agma, I think, is phenomenal to reroll for. But don't make him your first priority on a reroll unless there's, absolutely nothing else there. You're just going to go for the character. You can pick up the gun, later because you're not going to need Agma with gun until you're doing like raids or boss rush. So like DPS meter content. So don't pick up his gun, just pick up Agma, and he's a great tank to run along with Craig. Craig, Maya, Agma is a team that will literally never die in story. If it does, you have messed up really bad. You're either not gearing properly, your characters aren't evolved. So that's a team that if you lose with, it's a major skill issue on your part. Get better at the game, bro. Okay? Really, just get better at that point. Mariel is going to be peak of S tier. I mean, I'd borderline put her in plot armor, but she's so damn good, man. With her EX, okay, you need her EX. You're going to need most DPS characters' EXs, especially if we're running them outside of, maybe extra endgame niche raid comps. So every DPS is going to need their EX pretty much for maximum performance. Mariel has movement speed increase, earth type resistance, crit chance party buff, an additional 30% earth damage boost within her kit, an extremely hard-hitting chain skill and weapon skill. Super powerful character. Does so much damage, so much utility towards earth type heroes. Is phenomenal, can dogfight really well. It makes dodging in story a lot easier actually. So if you're struggling with dodging specifically, she's actually not bad because she gets a movement speed increase and her auto attack animations along with movement feel really good to play with. So she's definitely really nice if you're struggling with dodging. But if you're just trying to clear story, there are generally better leads who provide, a bit more safety and comfort depending on, what you're doing. Next up is, let's see, who are we doing here? Nari. Okay, let's do Nari. I forgot Nari last time. Nari's going to be, I think, bottom of B. She's just primarily now just a basic rage unit, and that's really it. You can use her on other teams, of course, as just, a normal range defense shredder. However, she doesn't really do anything crazy. She's, in my opinion, for a new player, if you're rerolling, she's just a much worse First Corpse commander, especially because she's going to struggle on World 10 and 11, which are going to be your most difficult worlds. So it's really not worth going for Nari on a reroll if there are other, better options available. Rosetta, in my opinion, is going to be peak of B+ tier. Okay, and the reason is because of her crazy synergy with some really broken characters. Claude, Beth, Mariel, and a couple of others like Yunha and Kamael, boosted by Rosetta's party buff, start doing so much more damage. Especially Beth. Beth with Rosetta or Kai is so nasty in story. It's not the best defensive team, but boy, does Beth do so much damage. So in my opinion, Rosetta is not that. Nah, she's worse than them. She's worse than them in terms of providing value in the long run. But she's not a horrible pickup, so she's good to have, makes a lot of characters just do a bit more damage with her party buff and kit stuff. She herself, however, isn't anything special. Same thing, I think Kai's gonna go in the same spot. They're pretty much interchangeable in my opinion, depending on the party. So they're mainly going to be party buff units, early to mid game, end game. They can have other purposes such as raid and potentially arena or coliseum if you're running, glass cannon teams. However, early to mid game, they're mainly just going to be, party buff units to make other units stronger. Next up, Garam. Garam, I think, is going to be a C plus tier. He's worse than Nari because he can't be splashed. He's not a comfortable pull to go for if you're a new player because he works best in water. His party buff is a water attack boost, so you can't really synergize him with a lot of, the top heroes. Doesn't really work comfortably with Kamael, Beth, First Corpse. You can run him with Andros, but then you're going to be running what is essentially the most glass cannon team possible in story. He doesn't provide any utility. He's an extremely selfish DPS that is extremely like glass cannon. He's just a walking piece of glass. So that's all he is. He's not really that great. I'd put him in C plus tier. I'd honestly put him in C plus tier, but he's not that useless. However, he deserves C plus tier. He's just not that great to go for on a reroll. Miss Chrome, great expedition unit, scales pretty nicely, but once again, she's a very selfish DPS in that she's not going to provide a whole lot of sustained defense or major damage boost for the rest of your team. She's just a nice character that isn't doing anything crazy. She does translate pretty decently into endgame, especially like I've mentioned, into something like expedition, but outside of that, she's not really crazy. Next up is one of my favorite characters, Bari, F tier, literally bottom of F tier, dog water trash unit, trash. I don't need to say anything else. She's just trash and outdated. She's a walking glass cannon that doesn't do anything else. That's it. That's literally it. That's modern day Bari. Bari like 2 years ago or something was so much better. Like 2.5 years ago. I don't remember the exact times. It's been a while, okay? Marina, I think same. Probably better than Bari though, but probably better than all of them in my... no, she's worse, because she's shit. She's just absolute shit. She doesn't do anything. She's a horrible tank. Doesn't provide enough tankiness for your team that, Craig or Future Princess would. Just trash. These guys don't go for them. They're absolute horrible investments. Lilith, I think, is going to be here. Not higher than Chrome, simply because Chrome actually works with, ranged characters who are just better. Lilith is a melee character. Lilith and Beth is actually a really nice combo, but outside of that, Lilith doesn't do much. She's fallen off a lot since the past. She's good, but that's all she is, right? She doesn't do anything insane. She's not going to make your team tankier. She's not going to provide you sustain. She's not going to, trivialize a lot of content. She doesn't do anything insane. She's just a good character. That's really it. I think she is on a pretty high priority list, right here, probably behind Agma, simply because Agma's just, a tankier, more versatile character, because you do get Maya for free as a new player, so she is not that insane anymore. However, she is still a pretty damn good character because she provides a lot more offensive-ness that Maya doesn't bring. So if you're doing content where you need some healing, but you also need, more damage, she's not a bad option, but it's making me reconsider. She's not that crazy. You do get Maya for free. I keep forgetting that. But yeah, she's not that crazy anymore because you get Maya for free. Next up, Future Knight. Future Knight, I think, is going to be bottom of A plus tier. It's above Agma, okay? And the reason is, it's due to the release of Yunha, basics have gotten a lot better, and especially if you do have Yunha, and you can reroll for them. If you can't, Future Knight is, in my opinion, A tier, but if you end up having Yunha with her, Future Knight, it's a really good character. She ends up doing a lot of additional damage. She provides, a more damage towards the basic units. Her weapon skill regen stuff pretty much only applies to her, or if she's lead, or your actual lead if she's not lead. However, it's not a bad character. It's a jack of all trades, meh at everything, but not really great at anything. She's essentially just a more toned down Yunha, an extremely toned down Yunha. So, but she's not bad. She's definitely a good start, but she will struggle a bit more in worlds 10 and 11. However, you can just future princess through those worlds generally, so it's not too big of a worry. White kid, trash, absolute trash. That's not a real character. Shouldn't exist. Perma-delete this thing out of the game. Clara, absolute trash. Delete that character from the game. Don't reroll for them. Now, Eleanor. I'm actually a pretty hard Eleanor fan because with Mono Light, she is one of the nastiest characters you can get as a new player. Like, a team consisting of, like, you know, MK99, Gabrielle, Eleanor, Future Princess is damn ridiculous. However, that's not a team you can really reroll for because that's 3 characters, all of which would like to have their EX at least. So, yeah, but she's D tier for me. If you know, partially have Monolite assembled, she's not bad, but yeah, no, she's F. She's probably higher than all of them, though. It's just outside of Monolite, she's pretty damn useless. And it's not even like, you know, Garam levels where it's just like party buff and some maybe other things. Her entire kit revolves around being with Monolite. Otherwise, she's just a trash hero. Lapis is pretty much worthless rerolling for. Lion isn't too bad, but I just don't think she's a character you're gonna want to reroll for, really. She doesn't provide all of that in terms of rerolling. She's not gonna change your gameplay experience. Crocell, same, belongs in F tier, doesn't provide anything for a new player if they're rerolling. Erna, in my opinion, is going to be slightly better just because of, you know, how much she's been used in PvP and how long she's actually been there. So in that regard, she's a better pickup than most of these, but these are anything below C tier, anything below B plus tier isn't going to be anything you're going to want to reroll for, really. They're just not great. Next up is Rue. Rue is actually going to be much higher than Garam, and it's purely because of the fact that Earth is actually a great element. Right? Like, dude, Earth is a good element, and Kama L is actually coming up next patch, and so is Rue. So she's going to be available then. She's good. She, however, is locked into Mono Earth. That's where she's going to get her most value, especially because of her party buff and the rest of her kit. And you pretty much are going to need her EX. She has 2 EXs, Sword and Gun. If you're going to run her on Mono Earth, it's generally with Kama L, so you're going to want Gun. Sword is only for like melee Earth raids, but ranged Earth is just so much better in my opinion. Not even in my opinion. It's just better. Go for ranged Earth, okay? Ara doesn't really provide anything for a new player. Pretty much a trash reroll. I mean, she's not that bad compared to the others, so I guess you do get more stuff out of them. Next up is Carol, and she just belongs here. I mean, she's really, really trash in terms of the new player. She's used on Monolite Melee, but outside of that, she's trash. And Monolite Melee isn't a team you can reroll for, and it's not a really early to mid-game team. You can maybe use it in Color or Arena and light melee raids, and she's nice there. But outside of that, she's pretty much useless trash, right? Aleph, hold on. We're making a new tier. This deserves its own tier. I mean, it's beyond garbage. It's beyond garbage, right? Aleph and White Kid. Okay, this deserves its own tier because of how trash these things are. These characters should not exist within the game. If you do get one of them, I'll just reroll. They're absolute, you know, shit stains on your account. Never. Priscilla is very, very, very nice to look at. But outside of that, she's a niche PvP unit. So, nothing much. Orca's gonna be like around here because she's locked into Mono Water, right? So, yeah, nothing crazy to reroll for. Veronica, once again, I've been like, I'm a Veronica enjoyer, so I'm gonna put her in bottom of C tier. But once again, anything below like, you know, B plus tier is nothing you're gonna reroll for. Most of the times you're gonna want to skip those banners. Maya, you get her for free now, unless, you know, you're a returning player, in which case I don't think you do. Only new accounts made, I think, get her. But she's nice. She's really good. You don't need her EX. If you're a returning player, she's a nice character to have. And if you're a new player, you get her for free. So, yeah, keep that in mind. AA72 is not bad, but nothing crazy. Doesn't change up your whole gameplay, makes story easier. No, just generic good character. Trash. Get that trash out of here. I'd make a separate tier, but someone was arguing that Mad Panda Trio is apparently good in story. They're not. They're really not. Like, just because you did it, you can clear story with pretty much everything. That's, you know, it's not crazy content. There's just easier ways to do it, and there's less easier ways to do it. You pick your poison, right? Whatever you go with, your choice, man. Ray's really damn good on melee teams. So if you're running Beth, Ray's actually so powerful. Like, just alone that warrants her in B tier because she's a really good addition with a really, really damn good melee character. And I know there are 2 characters people are waiting for, but y'all aren't going to get them, so you're going to have to watch the whole video for it. Beach, trash. Chunryo, light raids, I guess, but outside of that, nothing really. So he's going to be bottom of D tier. Amaris, Earth raids, that's pretty much it, but because Earth is a pretty good element, she's going to be top of C plus tier for me. Once again, anything below, B plus tier is niche characters that are only going to depend on what content you want to do or any really hyper-specific team. Anything above B plus is going to be really damn good characters that are going to be good on pretty much everything. Kana, trash character reroll for locked into basic raids and only exists to provide defense shred mark, and that's it. That's literally it. The character does nothing else. She provides no DPS, nothing. Tinia, trash, absolute trash. I guess she exists in Mono Earth raids for her mark, but other than that, she's honestly just garbage character. Absolute trash unit. Really doesn't do anything. I guess she doesn't need her EX, so she can be higher than F. Chun-Li, trash F. Scintilla, trash F. These are characters that don't really stand for anything. They're horrible. They don't do anything significant at all. They're not going to provide you with any changes in gameplay experience. They're just generic filler for early to mid-game players. Paimon, PvP tank, but I don't even think she's that crazy in PvP. Eugene, F tier trash. What else? I know I'm missing a couple on purpose. Light Trip here is honestly not too bad. She's just worse than Earth Root to reroll for, because Earth is a better element. She is locked into light melee, but light melee isn't all too bad, and her K isn't all too bad either. However, I don't think she's anything to really reroll for. Idoliva is just going to be F tier trash. I mean, she is not useful for anything. Same thing goes for Lupina. They're niche units that aren't great outside of whatever they're in, and even in their own niche, they're not that great. So MK99 is actually not going to be too bad. And she's a generic range DPS that's actually pretty good at doing damage. She's not too selfish, but she doesn't also provide anything crazy to the party. She does provide a range damage buff, I guess. So she does have synergy with some of the better characters in the game. Next up, Kamael. I mean, come on. Y'all knew he was going to be in plot armor tier. He's upcoming in the World 17 banners, and he's just that damn good. Range damage party buff, range defense shred, full party heal, AoE attacks, really good weapon skill. What else? He does so much. Like, I haven't even mentioned everything he does. His damage is pretty damn good. He's so powerful. Like, he just belongs in plot armor tier. He's part of, one of the best Mono Earth teams in the game. Just damn good character. Synergizes with pretty much any ranged hero and has crazy good synergy with Mayriel. Just amazing character. Noxia is not bad. Like, she's nothing to reroll for, I think, but she is generally, nicer than some of these characters because she's actually pretty good in story with her, I almost call it Tibbers because I'm a League of Legends player, but I'm just going to call it Tibbers. With her Tibbers, she's actually not a bad character. She makes your party tankier, and Tibbers can act as a nice meat shield sometimes. Next up, Lucy, F tier trash, absolute trash unit, doesn't exist in the game. Just waifus, I guess. Like, this is just waifus. They're not great. They're not going to provide you anything. Lifeguard Yuze is actually not too bad in terms of scaling towards, end game content, especially with melee teams. So I think she's going to be top of C+, but the others are just booby bait. That's it. For early to mid game players, especially if you're a newer player, they're just booby bait. Parvati is F tier trash. Vishuvak is F tier trash. Valencia is F tier trash for newer players. Sumiru is F tier trash. What else? We've already covered Gabrielle, no? Have we not? Okay, Gabrielle. I don't recognize her JPR all too much. Really, really damn good offensive support. You know what? She's so good to have. She works on pretty much any team, especially ranged teams, because god damn does she make those teams do so much more damage. Her healing is not that potent if you don't have her EX, and if you have her EX, it's primarily only going to heal significant amounts if she's the lead character. So do be wary of that. She's primarily really good for being a generic strong DPS booster. Am I missing anyone? That's Whitebeast JPR. I'm not going to cover the collabs because I just don't think they're great to look out for anytime, but out of all of them, Lena is a really, I mean, just the mere fact that they're collabs means they're really good to reroll for because they're not going to come back in a long time, but Lena is a damn good character though, okay? And I'm not going to elaborate too much because if the collabs are on, you're going to want to reroll for Lena anyway because who knows when she might come back, so don't bother. She's a great character. And if she's around, pull for her no matter what. Who else? Yunha! I mean, come on. Did we expect anything different? Yuna is an absurd DPS. Her auto attack has no recharge timer. She provides insane party healing, insane party attack boost, range damage party buff, defense shred. She is so broken. Her one-hit weapon skill, super, super powerful. Extremely high damage weapon skill chain. It's so damn good. Like, she doesn't belong anywhere else. This time, I swear I'm not forgetting anyone, right? That's Dolph, Ascended Elvira. I swear I'm not forgetting anyone. That's Ascended Karina. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. Oh, Plitvis. She belongs in Aleph and White Kid tier. They're just absolute dog shit characters. Morian I haven't tested or ran personally, but I think she's like going to be C tier, D tier, maybe even F, because she seems to only be a, PvP based hero. And especially when you consider the fact that Kama L's coming, you're probably going to want to reroll for him instead. And I don't think we've missed anyone. And yeah, that's it for the tier list. If you all enjoyed the video, once again, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and join the community Discord. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I will see you all later.